Kit is running for legislature in the November 2010 election. She was named by the Arizona Republic as one of the 10 key people in Mesa to watch in 2010. Although she hopes to practice her campaign speeches later in front of us, she's not doing that today. This is her 4th speech from the Competent Communicator Manual with the objective, how to say it. Kit's speech is entitled, Make My Wish Come True. Please welcome Kit Filbey.
The music you just heard was Venus, sung by Frank Zappa. In 1959, Venus was the #1 song on the charts. I was 14 years old. I was skinny, curly hair, very shy, very self-conscious, and very much in love with Frankie Avalon. One morning, I came down to breakfast, and there on the breakfast table was a black and white 8x10 glossy photograph of Frankie Avalon. I screamed with delight, and my mother said, with a coy smile, "So he's someone important to you, huh?" Yes. She said, "Well, I thought he might be. He is coming to Champaign-Urbana." That's right. He's coming to Champaign-Urbana to do a concert for United Cerebral Palsy, and I'm in charge of his schedule that day. Now, my mother was not an event planner. My brother was born with cerebral palsy, and my mother had become quite active in United Cerebral Palsy, so that's how the connection was made. The day arrived. It was April 20th. One of the things that my mother was to do was to promote Frankie's concerts. Back then, concerts were not like they are today. They were held generally in schools, and the promotion was different. So the way she was promoting him was to take them to a few area schools to tell them about the concert that was coming up in the afternoon. The first school was Urbana Junior High, my school. I met my mother and Frankie and his 2 agents at her front door, and we went backstage where an entire assembly was created just for the sole purpose to see Frankie Avalon. And I was backstage with him. As we waited backstage, Frankie looked at me. I was wearing a full skirt that had flowers on it, a white blouse, and I had just started wearing nylon stockings. He looked at me and he said, "Would you like to hear the song I just recorded?" And I said, "Yes." And he proceeded to sing, "When a girl changes from bobby socks to stockings and starts trading her baby toys for boys. When that one shy little sleepyhead," and believe me, I was shy. The day program, after he sang the song, the assembly began. There was a procession of introductions. Frankie, the principal, his agents, and they included me. I got up in front of the microphone. Now, this was my very first attempt, and I emphasize the word attempt, at public speaking. I got up in front of the entire student body, the microphone there, and could not remember one word of what I was going to say. The principal came up, put his arm around my shoulder, and said something to me, and I got through it. I really didn't care, because the entire school knew I was with Frankie Avalon. It was a Monday, and on Mondays in Urbana, all of the nice restaurants were closed. So for lunch, we went back to my home. My 2 sisters had skipped school, and my cousin Stacy, who lived in Peoria, had taken the bus in that day, and she was there with me. While we're eating lunch, I received 3 different phone calls from the popular girls. I definitely had not been with the popular girls. From the popular girls who had skipped school wanting to know, what are you eating? What is he saying now? My status at Urbana Junior High had immediately risen. After lunch, we went to another school, and Frankie and I sat in the back of the car, and I helped him practice his lines for a play. It was Guns of the Timberland, not like the movie Guns of the Timberland, with Alan Ladd. Then we went to Champaign High for the concert. Now, again, concerts back then were much different than they are today. There were many people that were singing, many stars. I don't remember who the other ones were besides Frankie Avalon, but there was Chuck Berry. That was one of them. But I don't think Buddy Holly was there, but I'm not sure. All I could think about was Frankie Avalon. He was the featured speaker. Now, because my mother was in charge of this, I had, with Stacy, my cousin, we had front row center seats. Frankie came out to sing, and to sing Venus. And when he sang Venus, he looked directly at me and sang the entire song just to me. Stacy, who's sitting beside me over here, is pulling on my arm. Kit, he's singing to you. And all of the girls are just screaming just to see him. Oh, I just sat there. That, soaking it all in. After the concert, Frankie and I went into the boys' locker room and had dinner alone in there. Why we had it in there, I'm not exactly sure, and I don't even remember what we ate, but what I remember was feeling very special, very pretty, and happier than I could ever remember being. I thought of Frankie Avalon for many years, and continued to collect my 45s of him, and hoped to see him again, but it didn't happen. But something else did happen for me. When you are 14 years old, and the most wonderful wish you can possibly wish for comes true, it's pretty easy to go through life knowing that wonderful things can always happen. Mr. Trustee.